Good afternoon. Welcome to Tuntu Lifestyle Show in collaboration with Tikambe. Today I'm really excited. I am pleased to introduce to you a new scene on our show. We'll be having capacity building for the youth and women. Of course, it's everything to do with employability skills, capacity building, how to get a job, how to keep a job. These are different elements which people from time to time gets to misunderstand. But today I'm be joined by a facilitator who's going to take us through every bit of it, what to expect, how and where it's going to be held, and also the length, and also everything else to do with what we're talking about today. So today I'm being joined by one of our main facilitators, Mr. Kelvin Chibomba. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Melbourne. How are you? It's good to be here.
Thank you. I think the last time we had a chat was a few months ago. Yeah, and it was one of those conversations which you still want to come back and have more and draw more and learn more from. It was really a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
And it's always been.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Pleasure's mine.
Yeah. So you are you are our main facilitator for the new scene on our show, which is capacity building for the youth and young women. Before we get into that, I would like to, for some of the people who are seeing you for the first time, so just tell us a little bit more about Mr. Kelvin Chibomba.
Well, thank you so much, Mabel. Of course, my name is Kelvin Chibomba, and there could be a transition in my life for one reason, because I've just finished my PhD program.
Oh, wow, congratulations.
Thank you so much. And it's only dedicated to, a certain group of people in society. And these are young men and women, and Zambia at large. So it's a program, of course, that means words for me, for my family, and for my Zambian people. Well, about myself, I was born in 1973 in Zambia, of course, in the sweet town of Mazabuka in Southern Province. Then I went to a primary school called St. Columbus. That's where I did my grade 1 to 7. Then I went to St. Edmunds, which is run by the Irish brothers by then. That's where I did my grade 8 to 12. Then after that, I went to the University of Zambia, where I did my bachelor's. Then I also did my master's there. Then I started teaching at the University of Zambia. Then I also had a stint with another university before I went to a university called the Information and Communications University. Then I also started doing my PhD program in environment economics with the Zambia Open University. So I just completed this program. It's a 3-year program. Of course, taught 2 years, 1 year by research. So I have learned so many things, and there is passion in all these things that I do. And one thing that has come out, Mabel, is the ability for us to harness the potential that the young people have. And there could be so many people there, either young men and women or women, who could be seated on a dam. They don't know probably how to go to the next level. And this is one thing which has troubled most African countries. And, women are suppressed. The young men and women, are frustrated. It's like life is not on their side. But we're here to change matters. And for information, this program has just come at the right time, because we want to target you, the young men and women who are there, the women who are there. The reason is very simple. We want you to be really successful in life, because money matters. Money matters in so many ways. We need money every day. We need money for our livelihoods. We need money for, for investments. We need money to go to, for our career guidance, career paths, and, we need money. We need money in a daily life. So one thing which is very, very important is for us to be able to, create pathways for Zambian men, the Zambian women, for the youth, including other people who could be our neighbors, so that we can begin to write on certain principles which we are going to discuss here together on this program. This program is really packaged. There are many nuggets which we are going to upload maybe piecemeally, so that we're able to cover certain outlines, as it were.
I like what you said when you mentioned money matters. Money matters indeed, literally in everything. So every time I come across the statement capacity building, what comes to my mind is the two words, unemployment and underemployment. These sound very easy and almost the same, but they're completely different. So I would like to hear your definition of what these two terms actually mean, because we are going on a journey where these are things which we want people to understand, know the difference, and also how best to live with them if they want to live with them, or run away from them. So I'm really dying to hear your own definition of what underemployment and unemployment.
All right, thank you. To begin with, let me take you back a little bit so that we're able to put these brackets in their own perspective. The first one is us to begin to define who a young person is, because this is where we're going to focus on. You know, by Zambian standards, a youth is someone within the brackets of 15 years to 35 years. And then when you go to the UN, it's someone between 15 and 24 years. In the Commonwealth, someone who is between 15 and 21 years. So you can see that the brackets which you have for Zambia are really extended 15 to 35.
To 35, yes.
Meaning there are so many people in these doldrums, you know, who are not employed, underemployment, those who may need help. And more often than not, we begin to hear complaints from the same people in these brackets, you know, that there is nothing that the government is doing for me, and governments come and go, the status quo still remains the same. Where is the problem? And these are some of the things which we are going to, you know, to unpackage in this program. Coming now to your question, you are saying the definition for underemployment and unemployment. Underemployment simply means, you know, the system at hand is not able to pick people, as it were. Could be the formal sector or the informal sector. You see, they are not able to create jobs because, look, the role of the government is there to provide policies that will provide other areas, you know, for them to begin to grow. You know, to a large extent, you find that some of these do not begin to happen, and that is under what? Employment. Because one, the public sector, you know, ceases to take people on board. The informal sector also seems to be struggling, and there's this huge mass of people who are simply waiting to be either formally or informally deployed. And coming to unemployment, the system, for example, let me give an example back home here in Zambia. From 1964 to maybe the year 2010 or 2015, you find that people who were brought on board, close to 500,000. And these brackets, they have not grown from 1964, meaning there's a problem somewhere. Maybe. So unemployment simply means the inability of people who should take people on board, either the public sector or the private sector. There's this inertia, there's this inability for them to come on board. And this is the case for a country such as Zambia, and it has brought a lot of challenges, frustration, you know, a lot of talking. This government is not working. Perhaps someone is not doing something good somewhere. So, you know, it is very important for us to begin to start at this point that, you know, it is a problem. And just to take you back, a few weeks ago, you know, Zambia started to engage people to do the census, you know, enumeration program. And thousands of young men and women went to be registered for this program. you could see that there's a challenge somewhere. This is a temporary engagement, maybe for 3.5 months. And then what happens after that?
After that, yes.
Yeah, these are the questions that we need to ask ourselves. Where is the problem? But we are coming, to begin to provide certain solutions in this scenario, that there's still something that someone can do. There's still something that you can begin to provide. And not long ago, I had a meeting with a certain group of young men and women. They were asking me, are you able to give us money to start some kind of a business? But then I asked them, say, what business ideas do you have? None of them was able to provide me with a business idea. The inability for young men and women to put the business concepts on paper is what we want to build here in our region. The inability of young men and women to be able to put the business concept, the business idea on paper, so that you're able to check and ask questions. How do you intend to take this turn, that corner, so that the whole business becomes a success, to be sustainable, to be viable, to be buoyant, perhaps is what is missing.
Okay.
And by research, it has been found that a lot of businesses are not able to stand the test of time. The reason is that people don't know how to remain buoyant when they begin their businesses. Sometimes it's borrowed money, then what happens?
How are you going to pay back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Zambia at the moment, I can almost say, qualifies to have, if not the highest number of unemployed citizen or people, or half of its population is not employed. And also, you have stated that you are in the process of providing solutions to some of these issues to do with employment, employability skills. If you want to go for a venture such as self-employment, starting up a business, those are solutions you want to bring on board so people can tackle into them, pick whichever works for them. But other than that, somebody out there can be watching and wondering to say, I've been to university, I'm a postgraduate, undergraduate, I am well qualified. Who qualifies for this project?
This project is open for you, wherever you're able to pick us from. Because look, there are certain angles that we take in life whenever we leave school. Either we are going to find employment, or sometimes you're going to be self-employed, or sometimes you're going to go for further studies, or we need guidance on what to do next. And this is exactly what happens. You raised something that is very important. Look, by the brackets that we have in Zambia, 15 to 35 years, close to 25% people in these brackets are not employed. And this is a huge problem. In other countries such as the US, it's only at 4%. Other countries in Europe, maybe it's about 6%. But Zambia, 26 to 30%. This is a big problem. But then how do we begin to dismantle such a problem? These are the solutions that you want to find. These are the solutions that you want to provide. And, the objectives for this program are really straightforward. Number one, we want to support the drive towards reducing underemployment, especially among the young people and the women. Number two, creating pathways. What is it that you want to do? There are certain people, they are holding papers. Maybe it's not in their line of path. They need certain kind of direction. They are not given this kind of direction. We are here to give this kind of direction. We'll sit down with you. Of course, we're able to download some of the packages that you're going to upload on our online platform. Check on those things. They are going to help so many people. We helped so many young men and women. And also, it's very important to realize that there are certain programs that governments are doing in the region, in Zambia for that matter. For example, when you look at Vision 2030, the idea is to begin to help a lot of young men and women. And one way you can see in the policies for the new Dawn government, the ideology is that it's good to cluster young men and women into cooperatives and women into their own cooperatives, depending on the area where they come from. Because some of these endowments, are found in a given geographical locales. So, for example, here in Zambia, women in Minulunga can begin to process fruits. Women in Katete can begin to process groundnuts. Women in Choma can begin, to process milk. But the thing is, how do we begin to add value on the things that we already have, which we are naturally endowed, so that we begin to make money? The challenge that we have in most of these places, most of our young men and women, is that, we are not adding value. And this begins to be a challenge. We are here to help you with your product so that you are able to add value on, certain commodities that you want to produce. Where do you sell them? What are some of the backward linkages? What are some of the forward linkages that come in this process? So it's very important that we also begin to look at supply and demand, even as we are processing supply and demand. And this is one area we also want to help people who are going to come on board. The process is not selective. We're here to help people in the urban areas and also people in the rural areas.
Okay, I like that. So the objectives are very clear and straightforward. Anybody who is ready to make a change in their lives can easily subscribe or be part of this project by simply following up the steps and the requirement that you're supposed to do in order for you to be part of the training. So before we say or get to hear more from my guest, Mr. Kelvin Chibomba, we'll go on a short break. We'll see you on the other side.
For media marketing solutions, Pafrico is quite simply a quality marketing service delivery company. Our solutions cut across digital and traditional platforms. In short, integrated marketing is our thing. We look after clients seeking competitive solutions in integrated mission-critical marketing, whether corporate branding, digital media, outdoor advertising, right up to media buying. Get in touch today.
And we're back. Remember, it's Utuntu Lifestyle in collaboration with Tikambe. We are more than happy and pleased that we are introducing a new project on our show, which is capacity building for the youth and, of course, young women. And today I'm being joined by Mr. Kelvin Chibomba. Before we went on a break, he took us through what to expect throughout this new project we have introduced, who is qualified, the men desired objective and goal. So that was what we spoke about before we went on the break. And a lot of people might be wondering, because it's, it's something which can work both ways. You say we shall facilitate this physically in different places and areas depending on the interest we'll get from people. And, it can work both ways. But what is a desired or planned channel you plan to do this?
All right, so there are two modes, maybe, that we're going to use in this program. There are two modes. One, we have an online mode, and then also an offline mode, or the physical mode. Using the online mode, maybe, what we intend to do in this project is that we are going to bring on board the power of technology. You see, nowadays when you go to these homes, you find that an average of a home, there could be 2 or 3 phones. And these are phones that are able to be connected to the internet. So they're able to find us there. We're going to create a page, a website page, and then also which is going to be linked to Facebook, because one you want to check on the hits, how many people are accessing the content that we are able to upload, they're able to download, and then also they'll be able to interact on Facebook to ask questions. And the second mode is the offline mode or the physical mode, where people can invite us to their local areas. We begin to provide services. We're here to provide services to the Zambian people, to many countries that we have here in this beautiful continent of Africa. You know, we want to provide services around literacy when it comes to businesses, you know, banking, how to manage a loan, how to start a business, how to sell a commodity, how to package. It's an all-round, you know, content that you want to provide to, you know, people around Zambia and Africa for that matter.
And you are the main facilitator for the project, but who else do you plan to bring on board?
We plan to bring on board like-minded partners. I say so because we have on board, there's a plan to engage non-state actors, and these are what we commonly call the non-governmental organizations. We want to tap and, you know, create some leverage in this project. Then also want to bring on board the government itself, because these are the ones who provide policy and direction. We believe that as a project we can begin to add certain things in as far as, you know, coming with a common viewpoint, common understanding that can begin to change policy. You know, it's very important that we understand the political economy, because to a large extent this is what determines the growth of other sectors. Look, we have depended so much on agriculture, but then what's happened to other industries, other sectors, such as, you know, to industrialize, to begin to equip the local small and medium enterprises. These are some things which are supposed to be understood. And as a project, we've done a lot of research. And we want to share this knowledge and package this knowledge and distribute, you know, so that we begin to become conduits for change, that people can begin to use what they have in their hands, put it into good use, and then begin to make money. Money matters. Money matters
indeed. So people might be wondering, they say, what makes this project so significant to any other project out there? Because, you know, people are trying so much to find other ways to encourage people to find other ways to make money. There's so much going on, but what are some of the main key pointers that people should look forward once they come on board and be part of the project? What should motivate them to actually be part of it? I am motivated already because I've understood I've understood the whole scene of what the project is all about.
Let me draw one scenario. Case of Zambia. In the last elections, a lot of young people went to vote. Do you know the reason why?
They wanted to see a change.
They felt, why that change? Why that change?
There was just need for change, so many reasons.
You know what? If the previous government was able to provide jobs, that would not be the case. But then we had this cadre of young men and women who felt that probably someone was lying, was not living up to the promises that they made. And someone came on board and said, I'll provide solutions for you. You find employment. And they said, okay, we are unemployed. Let's begin to check for this other person who's promising some of these things. So it is only true. And even the statistics are able to tell. 25 to 30% of our so-called youth are not in employment. You know, 15 to 35 years. This is and the Zambia, for information, it has a youthful population. You see, so there is a very big problem that is supposed to be sorted out as soon as possible. And this problem, we are riding on what is prevailing, so that we begin to provide solutions, as it were. And at hand, the challenge that most countries in Africa are facing has to do with the youth unemployment, underemployment, and the suppression of certain groups such as women. You know, women, they are the ones who are in these productive sectors, but they are also the ones who are heavily manipulated, and the proceeds that are coming from the, what they are doing is not going into their pockets. So we are saying this is supposed to change. How does it change? We are going to provide a platform where people can begin to get knowledge, to be emancipated, to be free, to be business oriented, to be business minded, that everything that you do should be seen in the business context.
I like that. Be business minded because money matters so much. So before we come to a conclusion, Mr. Chibomba, remember to like, subscribe, and follow us. We are Utuntu Zamgazin on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and of course IG. I always like to say IG twice because it's one of my favorite social media platforms. So we are Utuntu across all social media platforms. So Mr. Chibomba, you have taken us through all that is there to know for now. And also, before I let you go, what is the final catch that you want to put across for every young woman, every young man who is watching this right now, who has been trying so hard to either start his own business, get a job? He or she might have the knowledge, the skill, but doesn't have the funding. These are real issues that we see every now and then. So before I let you go, what is the final word to these young people watching us right now?
The question that I have for you, our dear young men and women, is that what is it that you have in your hands? What am I simply saying? I'm asking you, if we are to meet today, are you able to give me that business concept? Are you able to put it on paper to say, this is what I want to do, and how I'm going to go to that level is by doing this. And this is what you want to do. And this is what is lacking in most people. The ability to move from step 1 to step 2 to step 3 until the businesses become really viable. Most businesses either shut down, or banks come and get certain things maybe which they use as collateral, which is not very, very good at all. Every business is supposed to be truly sustainable. We are going to provide avenues on how businesses are supposed to be sustainable, how we are going to bring on board people, where do you get help in terms of loans, how do you manage loans, how do you come up with a structure for your small organization, where do you get extra help in terms of growth, because a business that doesn't grow, either it's going to shut down or something bad can happen, and we don't want such a thing to begin to happen. We are here to provide knowledge, to provide pathways for those who are leaving school. You have the potential. You have, wherever you are able to pick us from, you need to realize that you have the potential, and we are here to provide this bridge for you to cross over into the needed areas of our lives. Money really matters.
Indeed. Be business minded because money does matter. I like that. It's one of the things I'm going to take home with me today. So thank you so much, Mr. Kelvin Chibomba. It's been a pleasure to have you once again. It always has been.
Thank you, Mabel.
And to our viewers, please make sure you follow, like, subscribe. We are Utuntu Zamgazin across all social media. And of course, if you're looking forward to to viewing more of this content, please, I would like to emphasize this point. We are on YouTube. It's Utuntu Zamgazin without any space. Capital letter Utuntu Zamgazin, only capital letter Z and G. I think you wanted to mention something because I was about to.
Yes. What I want to say in a nutshell is that we are going to provide an outline, step by step on major areas that one requires in this journey. We want you to be successful. We want you to be able to believe into yourself and to help other people. And therefore, you know what? Poverty is real. The moment you begin to realize that, you need to cut these barriers that have for a long time held us to be successful in life. you know what, we are here as a project to help you. Every person, wherever you are, we are here to help you to reach that next level in your life.
Wow. I love that. The passion is there. All we need is you to come on board and be more than happy to help you. So thank you so much once again. And it's been lovely, very impactful. I mean, oh my goodness, I feel so inspired, and I'm really excited because this is going to be something which is going to take our young people out there to a new level, new understanding, new opportunities are going to come on board, and this is definitely something to look forward to. So once again, thank you so much for your time. It's been Mr. Chibomba and me, of course. It's been lovely, and we'll see you next week.